Hello and welcome to marketing91.com. In this video, we are going to cover the topic on glocalization. Before we proceed any further, please do note that we publish 3 marketing videos daily on YouTube. So please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now let's start with what is glocalization. Glocalization is a blend of localization and globalization. Glocalization is a term that refers to a service or product that is developed and distributed worldwide. However, it is also altered to fit in users and customers at a local level. Glocalization shows that the relevance of global and continental levels is increasing simultaneously as the salience at local and regional levels is growing. Local management, in terms of thinking globally, act locally, is employed by firms as a part of their business strategy. Many times, glocalization campaigns use culturally friendly media. They use ads to get to people to accept foreign goods locally. Origin of glocalization. The idea originates from the Japanese word dochakuka, which signifies global localization. It was used to refer to how farming techniques were adapted to local circumstances. The term glocalization first emerged towards the end of 1980s. It appeared on the Harvard Business Review. In a conference held in 1997 about globalization and indigenous culture, sociologist Roland Robertson stated that glocalization means the co-presence of both universalizing and particularizing tendencies. Next, globalization versus glocalization. Globalization means processes through which a firm introduces its business to the world. Example, Apple. Glocalization refers to a specific product or service getting adapted in a local market, as done by McDonald's in several countries. Next, advantages of glocalization. First, aids in larger reach. Next, access to new markets, reduce prices, reduce the inequality gap, and access to new talent. Disadvantages of glocalization. It is costly, time-consuming, cultural acceptance can be a challenge, backlash from local players in each country, and there could be foreign worker exploitation. Let's move on to glocalization examples. First, McDonald's. McDonald's menu has items that suit local preferences. Its products are specific to a particular geography. Next, Netflix. Netflix is operational in more than 190 countries. It changes what it streams from market to market. They offer programming and subtitles in local languages. Next, Nike. Nike has partnered with athletes from different sports backgrounds and from different countries. These athletes provide Nike with endorsements. This supports its global expansion and being relevant at a local level. Next example, IKEA. First, furniture assembly in India. IKEA sales come from self-assembly products. The firm, however, grasps the Indians' habits and mindset. IKEA sends out 1/6 of its staff to set up the furniture, a practice which is not relevant in other countries. IKEA has joined forces with Urban Company. Urban Company is a marketplace for services that is mobile-based. This partnership caters to consumers who buy a select range of furniture from the IKEA store. They can book furniture assembly services through Urban Company app. Next, Amazon in India. The US-based e-retailer Amazon wished to aid more than 150,000 sellers community. For the same, they launched a support service in 3 local Indian languages. In addition to Hindi and English, the vendors can now communicate in Kannada, Tamil and Telugu. Vendors can ask for callback in these languages under this initiative. Next, Starbucks in Australia. One can easily locate a Starbucks anywhere around the globe. However, Australia has just a few. After starting, they expanded too quickly. This didn't allow Australian customers to acquire a taste for Starbucks products. As a result, 70% of underperforming Starbucks stores were shut in 2008. This left only 23 Starbucks continent-wide. Australians don't prefer Starbucks as it served coffee options which were sweeter than their liking. Also, Starbucks stores asked for higher prices than the local cafes. In its initial 7-year span in Australia, Starbucks lost $105 million. This forced them to shut 61 stores. Another example of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola takes on bigotry and Islamophobia in a moving Ramadan ad. In the ad, Coca-Cola is motivating people, both Muslim and non-Muslims, to be more empathetic and kinder. The ad from the Coca-Cola team in Middle East and FP7 McCain UAE shows a lonely Muslim woman who misses her home. She is shown to find unanticipated friendship with a thoughtful stranger. The spot embodies the optimistic spirit of Coca-Cola brand but does not shy away from tougher topics either. And a final example of Kellogg's. Kellogg's unsuccessful first foray in India. Despite a high-profile launch and a frenzy of marketing activity, the first breakfast cereal it marketed were an initial failure in India. A major problem for Kellogg's was persuading the Indian customers to have cold milk with breakfast cereals. Kellogg's first entered the Indian market with crispy flakes which would turn soggy if they were had with warm milk, practice in India. That's why Kellogg's later had a better run with Frosty. Since Frosties are pre-sweetened and have dissolvable sugar, they sweeten the milk when added. So that's it, folks. This brings an end to the topic on glocalization. These are some of the sources and links referred to for the content in the video. If you've liked the video, do subscribe to our channel where you'll witness 3 new videos daily. Additionally, if you want to view these videos in an organized manner, you can visit freecourses.net where all our videos are arranged in the form of courses. Thank you and see you in the next video.